Slab Cinema, grading film and television like collectibles. Is it a Mint 10.0 or a 1.2 dog? Let's find out.
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
It's time to review Superman 2025. Welcome to the clean room. Let's grade it, guys. Entertainment value.
Entertainment-wise, I think this was a very good movie. I'm going to give it a relatively high score. I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8 on entertainment value. There were quite a few things that were very good about it. It was very good pace. It was very entertaining. There was a lot of action. The stakes got raised really high. I think the special effects, for the most part, were very good. There were some things that weren't that good, but for the most part, the special effects were good. I think a lot of people are going to come out of this movie saying that it was a lot of fun. And that's exactly what I thought too. I thought it was a lot of fun. So I'm going to give it an 8.
I've got to be real controversial here, but I want to say this is not an IGN 7. I'm giving it a 7 as in like a 7. Like, that's okay. That's better than average. Well, depending on how you look at it, depending on what school you went to. I enjoyed a lot of this movie and was still disappointed. But in terms of the enjoyment and the entertainment factor, it's not a movie where I felt like I wasted my money. And I think that's so important when you go to a movie and you spend money to go to a movie theater. You want to have a good time. And for everything that I don't like about this, I had a good time. So I'm going to 7.
This is going to be the highest category for me because
Me too.
it's highly entertaining. Any other qualms that might be in it? Pacing is fast. The colors are bright. The characterization is good. It's a fun ride. So I'm going all the way up to a 9 for entertainment value. If you just want a fun popcorn movie, it is that. Of all the things that it could deliver on, I think entertainment is the number one thing that it does successfully. So I'm going all the way to 9 on this category. Rewatchability.
I'll go ahead and give it a 7 on rewatchability. I will watch this one again when it comes out. I'm not going to rush to go see it again in theaters, so it's not like I must go see it. I'm going to go ahead and go 7. I'll probably watch it once a year or so, especially as the DCU gets to releasing its new projects, and I want to make sure I didn't miss any of the Easter eggs I might need to know about or any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'll rewatch it. So 7.
I hope this number in the future is higher for the same reasons Tim said. I hope the era is good, and I hope I go back and say, okay, I appreciate it more than I did originally. I'm going to go a 6 out of 10 on rewatchability, but I hope I look back and say that was a great start to David Gordon Sweat. That was a great start to all of them. I mean, they're all in this, from Supergirl's technically in this too. They're all in it, except for Batman. So we'll see. But I'm going to go 6 out of 10 on rewatchability, and the only reason I'm giving it a negative, and we'll talk more about it, I'm sure, is Lex Luthor. That'd be the only reason I go down to a 6.
I am going to go 7.5. I always talk about sections. There are no long dragging sections in this that you're going to want to skip if you rewatch it. Like, oh, this is boring, or I don't need to rewatch this again. So that bumps it up for me. And the action scenes are fun. The tone is light. This is something that you could have on. It's uplifting film. It's not a serious and dark film that'll have you down for the rest of the day. It would be fun to watch again. So I'm going to go 7.5. Execution.
So on execution, I am going to give it just a little bit of a bump down. And the reason is because even though I think that they did have some good special effects, they did have some special effects that were very, very bad. We had that pixely river that looked kind of bad, and a lot of that kind of stuff. The rift as it expanded kind of looked pretty bad. There were a lot of things that were like that. There also were major plot holes. The thing I was going back and forth about, even as I was trying to review this live after the movie yesterday, was Lex Luthor kind of was very, very inconsistent in what his motivations were. No. I started that war so that I could kill you. Well, he had him locked in a cell and explained that the reason he captured him was so that he could start the war. There are some things that are inconsistent. There are some things that probably could have been written better. There are some things that could have been done better. I think by and large, the acting was very good. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 6 on execution. There were some things that could have been better, but it wasn't a bad movie. And like I said, it was a fun movie, so it didn't detract from any of that.
I got to go back down to a 6 because of the same similar situation. It's proof that James Gunn, where he struggles, is if his villain needs to be layered and charismatic and all these different things about him, it gets too messy and blurry. Like when the villain has a single motivation that wants to accomplish a single goal, James Gunn's really strong at making sure that villain represents that goal. But it seemed like Lex Luthor had like 5, and he just switched and switched per scene. And they did the thing I hate, the cardinal rule. They did the Kylo Ren throws a tantrum, knocks stuff off tables.
Yeah.
Dan mentioned that in the theater. Yeah.
Yeah.
6 out of 10. That's I mean, I'm giving it, if the Lex Luthor was different, I'd give it a much higher score.
I'm going to go a little higher than you guys. I think I'm going to go, there are problems. I don't want to be a homer, but I think I'm going to go all the way to 8 because I really love the casting and the tone. I feel like Corn Sweat delivered a great performance. I forget her name, but I love the marvelous Miss Maisel as Lois Lane. I think she did a great job. Lex was kind of sketchy, but it didn't bother me. I feel like he wants to kill the whole idea of Superman. So just killing him in a pocket dimension where nobody sees doesn't really work. I can't go like 9 or 10. Every superhero movie needs to end in a big CGI mess now, the final battle, so that the riff with the pixely thing and the whole deal, even the pocket dimension where he was trying to save Metamorpho's baby and he's in the pixel river, you know, I don't know why it is, but you have to have this CGI battle mess at the end to show real stakes, and it gets kind of old. So that's where I'm going to come down a little bit, but I'm still going to be all the way up to 8 because I really love the performances. Originality.
What really made this good is this was a very, very different take on a classic story of Superman. And I think that that's something that was really kind of cool. If this was a series, we'd be meeting it about 2/3 the way through the series. If this was a 6-issue comic book run, we'd be meeting them in about issue 4. So I really thought that that was an interesting and original idea by James Gunn. So I'm going to give him some credit for that. I also think that there were things that I really appreciated that James Gunn decided to do that I know that nobody else would probably decide to do. I know that nobody else would probably have focused on Mr. Terrific or Guy Gardner's Green Lantern or Hawk Girl, or even have some of the cameos that he had, like Rick Flag and Peacemaker. A lot of those things were in there because that's kind of what James Gunn does. So the originality, I'm going to give a relatively decent score on this. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Yeah, this will be my highest category for them. I'm going to go at 8 on this, and it's funny. There's a lot of things I don't agree with in this movie, but they are original. It is him doing something that is fresh and different. Whether I like it or not, it's definitely original. So I'm going to go an 8, and it'd probably be higher if this wasn't, the superhero genre is being stretched so much that it's going to be hard for me to ever be like, that's a 10 in a superhero movie. But an 8's pretty good, I think.
I think I'm going to go lower on this one than you guys. And I'm dinging it, but it's for things that I actually loved. So he did engineer a lot of aspects of this movie to tickle your member berries. You got the John Williams score. You've got sets and art direction set to mimic a lot of the Richard Donner things.
The credit font, yeah.
The Fortress of Solitude, the font at the end, a lot of those things, they're not even supposed to be original. I really enjoyed that, but when I know you're playing a nostalgia trip on me, I got to knock your originality down a little bit. I do understand that it was a very original concept to start in the middle, and I enjoy that because I read Superman comic books. You guys read Superman comic books. Were any of us alive in 1930, whatever? So,
right.
No. So that was, if you're a comic book reader, this is how you were introduced to these characters. You picked up an issue and you were in the middle of the story. You didn't pick up Action Comics #1 unless you're 100 years old. So I did like that. And they had a totally original concept for the Kryptonians. So without getting into spoilers, that's a new angle. I think it may have been done in the whole history of Superman, but not frequently. So, but yeah. I'm going to go 7. I'm going to go 7 for originality.
We tabulated the numbers, and James Gunn's Superman from 2025 is slabbed with a 7.4.
Slab Cinema.